really close game all the way through. Highly competitive. I thought we did a lot of very, very good things. Our bench did a really nice job tonight, giving us a lift. You know, Duane Washington came in, and his shot making was was tremendous. You know, Lance did some good things. Really, everybody that played did some good things. I thought that overall the trip had a lot of positives, and the thing that really got us in this game, there was a 7-0 run they went on. I think we were up 95-92, and that gave them a little bit of cushion, and then we had a hard time getting the lead back. So that was a tough stretch, but you know, I love the spirit that we have played with on this trip. We need to bring that home on Wednesday.
You touched on Duane and how well he shot the ball. It could probably be forgotten. He's also an undrafted rookie. And how do you think he's just handled the ebbs and flows of this season and having to culminate with a performance like this tonight?
Well, Duane Washington is always ready. He's always on. He's been a great practice player ever since the summer league. He's had some tremendous days in training camp. He's had a lot of good games recently. He can shoot the ball. He knows how to play the game. He brings energy, and his presence on the floor creates a real positive vibe and a real positive movement factor for our team. So, you know, he's for a guy who's undrafted and is on a 2-way contract, he's doing a tremendous job, and he's an opportunist. You know, he's really taking advantage of his opportunities.
And then they hit scored like 64 points in the paint. Obviously, we knew coming in Valanciunas was going to be an issue, but what do you think beyond him made it kind of just tough to keep him out of the paint?
Well, I believe we did a better job in the second half. First half, they had 51, I think, points in the paint. Decided to go to a smaller lineup to start the second half to just try to sit down and take away the drives. You know, Valanciunas had some buckets in the first half, but the perimeter guys just kept driving by us, and we got off to a nice start in the third. You know, we had a lot of good possessions. We built a little bit of a lead, and you know, then it was just back and forth from there. But protecting the paint is going to be an ongoing emphasis. It's going to be an ongoing theme for us. It's a challenge in this league now with all the skill and all the speed going downhill.
And one more about Duane. I've been around him enough to see his kind of spirit. He seems to be the guy singing or smiling or doing. He threw a ball to a fan tonight and had him pass it to him at halftime and he shot it. What does that do for the team to just see a guy be that happy to just be there?
Yeah, he has a real grateful vibe. You know, he just every day he comes in with a smile on his face. You know, a real positive view of the world in general, and he loves to play basketball. You know, he loves to be to work at being a great teammate, and he plays the game in a very pure way. You know, and in some ways he's a bit of a throwback player. You know, because his game is as much about movement and creativity off movement as it is about, you know, the space and pace aspect of today's game with the shooting. So he's added you know, many nice dimensions to our team with both his, you know, his vibe and his attitude and his approach every day from a mental standpoint to the kinds of things that he's capable of doing on the floor.
Pat Boylan, go ahead.
Greg, perhaps a little frustrating on the heels of a loss, but when you look at this road trip as a whole, just about every young guy you've got had a moment, stepped up at some point on the road trip. What does that mean to you? What can it potentially mean for long-term growth?
It's a great point. You know, I thought that you know, Goga tonight did a good job. It's a tough thing guarding Valanciunas from the very beginning of the game. We knew that fouls were probably going to be an issue in the game. He made some nice adjustments, and there's no substitute for the experience you get of actually playing in NBA games. you could talk about player development and being in the gym and working hard, and all that stuff, but it really comes down to how much experience you can get. Tonight, he had another good dose. Isaiah had another, pretty upbeat learning experience, against a guy with the size of Valanciunas. And look, these guys got to learn by being out there and experiencing the way the game is officiated, how to play without fouls. And it's very difficult because today's game is geared toward offense. The defense has some advantages built in, but it's all about positioning and learning the personnel in this league. And you can watch personnel edits and stuff like that on players, but until you get out on the floor and actually experience it, your learning curve is only going to go so far.
Tony East.
Rick, you mentioned Valanciunas and those fouls. How much did that influence your decision to go with O'Shea Brissett to start the second half? And what did you think of O'Shea playing center for his stints tonight?
Yeah, I thought he had some good stretches in the first half when we had foul trouble. And, the idea was to try to do a better job of keeping these guys in front of us with some liberal switching and some defenders that had length and could sit down and guard. And I thought we did that, and I thought we scrambled well and did a lot of good things defensively. We had, I think, 3 or 4 really high-quality shots to start the second half that didn't go down. But then we were able to build a 4 or 6 point lead. And then, as I mentioned, it was just, they kind of came back at us again, and it was just kind of a back and forth game. But, I'm generally not a huge believer in playing total small ball. But this was just an effort to, take a little bit different approach to trying to prevent lane penetration. And I'll have to look at the film for sure, but I thought we did a pretty good job for the first 6 minutes of the third, and then from there it was, a lot of different things going on.
Pat Boylan.
Looking forward, you'll have the obvious boost of being at home on Wednesday, but in your experience, when you have a road game or a home game like this coming up on the heels of 5 straight on the road and then a couple more road games coming up, can that Charlotte game in some regard feel a little bit like a road game from a travel perspective?
Well, if we're going to talk about it feeling like a road game, it will. Pat, we went on the road for 9 days. I'm looking forward to getting home, whatever time it is tonight, and we're gonna make it a home day and make it feel like a home day, and a home game. That's what we have to do, and these quirky things are a part of the schedule. We got to adapt to them. We got to work with them, deal with them. If you're asking if it's a trap game, with what we've been through this year, I don't really see it as a trap game. I think it's just another opportunity for us to go out, fight hard, have our young guys be ready to step up into some higher responsibility situations, and it gives us an opportunity to win another game, and being in front of our home fans should be a good thing.
Caris, just starting on, what do you think of the performance of Duane and just his ability to keep you all in it from long distance?
Yeah, he played real fearless out there tonight, and that's who he is. He's a young player who he loves big moments, and I think he showed that tonight. He played great for us. He knocked down his open shots. He, made mistakes and still kept pushing. You love to see that in young players. So I think that was a huge positive for us tonight.
And then, what do you think changed down the stretch? You all had a lead, a back and forth game, and then they were able to basically hold on and win.
Offensively, they started blitzing me on the pick and rolls. We made some good reads early, but I think after that, we weren't converting. They hit some shots, and I think we were rushing on the other end to try to get the score back, and it kind of worked into their favor. And then I think, later when we started getting better shots, that's why we started to climb back in it. But we just got to stay poised.
Now, how did you feel just physically coming back after the 2 games off?
I felt all right. You know how it is when take some games off. The rhythm of the game is everything in the NBA. So it was a little shaky at times, but I pushed through it.
Pat Boylan, go ahead.
Caris, kind of along those lines, how impactful is the injury that you're dealing with? Is it something that you have to play through? Was it challenging you tonight at all?
I didn't really feel it at all tonight. It was more so, when you have an injury, it's always in the back of your mind. But I think for me, I didn't really think too much about it. But being off a week, you kind of lose a little bit of, rhythm and energy, pop, whatever it is. And I found it in the second half, but I think it was a little too late.
Keep going, Pat.
What did you think of your guys' job against Valanciunas tonight? It seemed like you were able to effectively double him and keep him from taking over the game, especially when you're in a situation where you're missing your starting two bigs.
Yeah, I think the fouls really discouraged them, as well as they did, I think, our two bigs as well. It was a lot of foul trouble tonight. It kind of made the game a little weird. We were playing 5 guards most of the game, 5 guards / wings. So I think that kind of messed our spacing up a little bit at times as well. But I think the bigs, they did a great job on them when they were in there, as well as O'Shea. I think O'Shea did a great job fighting them too, and it was really a team effort. He's been having a hell of a year.
Scott, go ahead.
Hey, Caris, what have you, this kind of road trip's mostly been about opportunity for a lot of guys who have just not gotten it, whether they're rookies or older players. What have you seen from guys like Goga, Isaiah, and tonight with Duane, what they were able to learn maybe playing through fouls and things like that?
Yeah, it's a long season, so I always try to tell young guys to just stay ready, because you're going to get an opportunity. It's just about, when you get it, being ready for that opportunity, and I think all of those 3 guys were extremely, as well as Kiefer in the Golden State game. Can't forget about, his performance as well. But I think all the young guys really showed that, they can play in this league and that, they can produce when given the moment and given the time. And I think us as a team and as an organization, we're proud of those guys for sure.
Duane, what was it like to be the hottest guy in the building tonight and to see just all the years and hours of work pay off in this way?
Yeah, man, I just had a good rhythm coming into the game. Had a good warm-up, so my guys believe in me to make shots, and they put me in some great positions tonight to make a lot, and just being confident in myself and coaches and players believing in me as well. So credit to them just as much as me, just believing in me and my abilities.
I know we talked before, you say you're confident in your shot all the time, but is there a moment when all right, the next one's going up for sure?
Yeah, sometimes for sure. Just having the knack to find a way to put the ball in the rim. You kind of know where your shots are going to come from, and I'm still learning every day. Not sure what game this is for me, so just continuing to put good days together, learning from my mistakes, and applying what I learned to the next game, the next opportunity.
We've talked in the past about the mentality, the joy, the just staying happy no matter what. I even saw you pass it to a girl at halftime or something, and you fired up and it went in. So I guess it was time things to come. But for you, how much does that just help you just keep navigating forward? When you might not play, night to night.
Yeah, stuff's gonna get really, really hard, and life can throw a lot of stuff at you at one time. So for me, just trying to find the joy in the small moments, small details, and the little things, and keep your head on straight. You don't get driven crazy by the hard stuff. So just keep a smile. It's not fake, it's not forced, it's real, and just believing in that and staying positive is something I live by.
So you set a new rookie record for the team. Obviously, a lot of great shooters in this franchise. Reggie Miller, one of them. Do you owe that girl at halftime? Those threes.
Yeah, kudos to her, man. She just was looking super excited over here to be at the game, and spread love through the youth, and hopefully that experience can allow her to play basketball maybe one day. So I would definitely credit to her, appreciate her giving me the luck. But like you said, putting in the work, believing in myself, confident in myself. So both of those factors were big tonight.
Pat Boylan.
Duane, your confidence is easy to see on a night like tonight, but even on a night where your shot's not falling, it's always pretty clearly there. Where does that come from, and how are you able to bring that to a level where at times you haven't always been playing, but you wouldn't necessarily know that based on watching you play?
Yeah, it started at a young age. Just like I said, continuing to believe in myself, feeling like it was me against the world, and me and my pops and my mom against the world. So, just always getting positive energy fed to me from my parents, starting at a young age. I tried to continue that and to only bring it and to bring confidence and to bring poise and just believing in myself. At some point, a lot of people aren't going to believe in you, so you gotta keep your mind straight. And I've been through a lot, so just continuing to learn every single day and being me.
Scott Agnes.
Hey, Duane, I'm curious, you said you felt like you were really in a good rhythm coming into the game, but you were 0 for 4 last game. So why did you feel like you were in a good rhythm?
Yeah, so I had a great practice yesterday. Just analyzed the 0 for 4, learned from it, forgot about it. The NBA is something that I've been getting accustomed to. Is everything's really, really fast. Everything happens fast, game after game, 10-day road trip. So for me, I just canceled everything else out. Had a good day in practice yesterday, and just carried it over to today and performed. And unfortunately, we couldn't get the W, but that's what we're always striving for. We're a little bit cut short. So.
Wheat.
Duane, I'm not sure if you're aware, but the record that you broke tonight was actually held by Chris as well as Chuck Person. Is there a little bit of a friendly competition between the two of you?
Honestly, I didn't know. I knew Chris had broke the record earlier this year. Tonight I was out there just letting loose. Didn't realize that I had broke a record, and super thankful for it now. But I'm gonna give him some tough love when we get on the bus and bust his chops a little bit. But definitely wasn't a competition. But in Fan Jam earlier this year, I had the title, so maybe I'll bring that up.
All right, last question, Scott.
Duane, you had 7 threes. You had 6 a couple times at Ohio State. Do you remember ever hitting 7 in a game, high school, AAU, anything like that?
Definitely, I hit 10 against Mater Dei in a summer league game. My senior year at Sierra Canyon. Yep, that's very notable. That's probably the most I made in the game. But 7 is great too, and super thankful, blessed for this opportunity, and never take it for granted.